Georgia Hunter Bell was not supposed to make it look this easy. The field in Paris was dangerous. Freweyni Hailu was right on her shoulder through the entire final lap. And with the finish line coming fast and nothing left to hide, only one question mattered: did Bell have enough left to win it? To understand what happened in Paris, you have to go back to the start of 2026. Georgia Hunter Bell did not arrive at this Diamond League meet by accident. She had spent months engineering a season that was starting to look unlike anything British middle-distance running had seen in years. She is not the loudest name in the 1500 meters conversation. She does not carry the weight of a world record or a gold medal. What she carries is something harder to measure, the kind of consistency that makes other runners in the field quietly nervous. Going into the Paris Diamond League, Bell had already been putting together performances that signaled she was in the form of her life. Her training had been sharp, her race management had been clean, and she had developed that rare ability to run scared early and fearless late, which in the 1500 meters is about the most dangerous combination you can have. The field in Paris was not soft. Freweyni Hailu of Ethiopia was in the race. She is not a name you put in the same sentence as comfortable. She has closed hard in championship races before. She knows how to hurt you in the final 200 meters. And on that Tuesday night in Paris, Bell was going to have to deal with her at full speed. When the gun fired, the field went out-controlled. The early pace was honest but not reckless. Bell tucked in, staying patient, watching the gaps, not burning anything she would need later. This is where a lot of middle-distance runners get it wrong. They react too early. They move too soon. They let panic make decisions for them when the race starts to heat up in the third lap. Bell did none of that. She moved through the field deliberately. Not flashy. Not desperate. She was reading the race like someone who had been in this position before and knew exactly how much she had left in the tank going into the final lap. The bell rang, and everything changed. She hit the front. And the moment she did, you could feel the shape of the race shifting. When a runner of Bell's caliber hits the front with a full lap to go and does not slow down, the runners behind her have a choice: go with her now or lose her entirely. Hailu went with her. The final 200 meters was a flat-out fight. Bell was pushing hard. Hailu was right on her shoulder. The crowd could see it happening in real time. Two elite runners throwing everything they had at the line with nothing held back. Bell crossed first 3 minutes, 55.63 seconds. A season best, and a margin of just 29 seconds over Hailu, who finished in 3 minutes, 55.92 seconds. That is not a comfortable win. That is a war that Bell won by the width of a stride. But here is the part of this story that the time does not tell you. Here is what that number does not show. Georgia Hunter Bell is a British Olympic bronze medalist. She earned that medal at the Paris Olympics in 2024. She stood on that same French soil before, representing Great Britain at the highest level the sport has. That was not a small moment, but this win in 2026 is a different kind of statement. An Olympic medal tells the world you belong. A Diamond League win in the form of your life tells the world you are coming for something bigger. The 1500 meters on the global circuit right now is deep. The Ethiopian presence alone makes it one of the most competitive events in women's track. Hailu is not a runner you beat without running a serious race. The fact that Bell not only held her off but posted a season best doing it says something loud about where her fitness is right now. 3:55.63 is not world record pace, but it is fast. It is the kind of fast that puts you in serious conversations about major championships. It is the kind of fast that makes selectors sit up. It is the kind of fast that makes rivals check the name at the top of the results sheet twice. British middle distance running has had moments of brilliance across the generations. And Bell, at this point in her career, is writing a chapter that stands on its own. She is not running in anyone's shadow. She is running in front. Let's talk about Freweyni Hailu for a moment, because the margin here matters. Hailu is an Ethiopian 1500 meters runner who competes at the top level of world athletics. She has competed in global championship finals. She is the kind of opponent where finishing 29 seconds behind her is a real result, but finishing 29 seconds in front of her is a statement. Bell did not stumble across the line hoping the gap was enough. She ran Hailu down in that final straight and held on through the kind of closing kick that separates Diamond League winners from Diamond League finishers. That gap, just over a quarter of a second across nearly 4 minutes of racing, tells you how close this was. It also tells you how locked in Bell had to be to make it happen. One moment of hesitation in that final curve, one half step of lost form, and Hailu closes it. Bell gave her nothing. Paris in 2026 is not Paris in 2024. The Olympics are over. The World Championships are on the horizon. And for athletes who are peaking at the right time, Diamond League performances carry a specific weight. They are proof that your fitness is real, your form is sharp, and your racing instincts are dialed in exactly when they need to be. Bell's season going into this race had already been described as brilliant. That word does not get used lightly in athletics circles. Brilliant means you are doing things that others are not. Brilliant means your training is transferring into race results in a way that is hard to explain and harder to stop. And now she has a Diamond League win in Paris to put on top of it. For British track and field, this is the kind of result that builds momentum. Other British athletes are watching this. Young runners who grew up watching Olympic finals are watching this. And they are seeing that a British 1500 meters runner just went to one of the premier meetings in the world, ran a season best, and beat an Ethiopian rival in a flat-out sprint to the line. That matters beyond the scoreboard. So where does Georgia Hunter Bell go from here? Because a result like Paris does not exist in isolation. It is a signal. And the question now is whether the rest of the 1500 meters world is paying close enough attention. There are runners who show up at big meets and survive the final. And there are runners who show up at big meets and take them over. In Paris on this Diamond League night, with Freweyni Hailu breathing down her neck through the entire final lap, Georgia Hunter Bell did not survive. She took over 0.355.63. Season best Diamond League winner. British Olympic bronze medalist who just showed the entire women's 1500 meters field exactly who she is in 2026. The season is still running. The championships are coming. And if Georgia Hunter Bell keeps posting races like this one in Paris, the question will stop being whether she belongs at the front of the 1500 meter conversation, and start being whether anyone in that conversation can keep up with her. She walked onto that track asking one question. And by the time she crossed that finish line, she had already answered it. And let's be honest about what this Paris result does to the rest of the 2026 season. Every runner in the women's 1500 meters field now has a new name to think about when they line up. Every coach building a race plan for a major championship this year has to account for a British runner who just posted a season best in a Diamond League final and made it look controlled under pressure. That is not a small thing. That is a shift. Bell is not a young prospect finding her feet anymore. She is an Olympic bronze medalist with a Diamond League win in her 2026 column, and a season that has been described as the best of her career. That combination experience, form, and confidence is exactly what makes a runner dangerous when the championships come around. The women's 1500 meters has always been one of the deepest and most brutal events in world athletics. Ethiopia produces world beaters in this event year after year. Kenya is always in the conversation. And yet right now, in the middle of 2026, a British runner is sitting at the top of the results sheet. Georgia Hunter Bell just took over the 1500 meter final, and the rest of the field should be worried.